Hey, this is Matt, and today I want to talk about how we have deep rooted patterns that are so far deep that it's like sometimes you just don't realize how hard it is to reprogram them. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because I realized for myself that I got so many deep patterns that are just right into my subconscious mind that I'm having to reprogram and having to break away into pieces and then reposition it the way I want it and make it in line with exactly what I need. And how I realized and how I came about that is because I saw, first of all, being more in a conscious mind and being more present and being more aware, it's allowing me to see that. It's giving me space. It's essentially like breaking away all of the clouds, all of the clutter in my mind, and just having a fresh new view and a fresh new perspective. And one of the things, like I said, is how I realized is that I got deep rooted patterns that I need to be reprogrammed in order for me to become the person I want to become, in order for me to become the leader that I want to become, in order for me to become the entrepreneur that I want to be, and to be the best version of myself. Because essentially what I was doing before is I was like, as I was programming, as I was doing uh, some personal development, self help, reading books, listening to podcasts, investing in some mentorship training, things like that. At first it was just like, yeah, it makes sense, awesome, this is good. It was empowering me, it was good, and then and like I believe in it and I want it, and like it's just as like, oh yeah, this is what I want. This is exactly how I think. It's in line and things like that. But then the patterns would start coming back in, and then that whole lesson would become irrelevant all over again. And one of the things that I realized is that holy shit, like growing up, these patterns were put into me based on what I was exposed to, based on how I was raised, based on the society that we live in, based on things that I was told and things like that that I took as as truth, as the reality, as the way it should be, and I let that create that pattern, that paradigm that has been so deep rooted in my subconscious mind that it's making it that much harder for me to break all of that, right? So, but at the same time, makes it even more interesting because now I'm seeing how my old patterns were blocking me. They were stopping me. They were slowing me down. They were essentially becoming a barrier for me to be that version of who I wanted to be. In order for me to achieve what is it that I want to achieve, I need to break away those patterns. So as I'm breaking them, as I'm working on myself, as I continue to grow, as I continue to work on myself, reading more books and podcasts and mentorship, and then that's how I'm breaking apart all of these paradigms, disrupting them and changing them, and then reprogramming them and just realigning it to exactly what is it that matters to me. So like realign it to have a flow, like be in a flow, to have like the mind, the body, and the spirit in line together. And it's been really interesting. So if you're on this journey, if you're going through multiple different changes, just trust it, just be open with it, just allow yourself to learn that, allow yourself to grow from that, allow yourself uh, to really embrace that, because it's all part of your journey. Because everything that you're going to learn is all necessary. You need to be going through these in order for you to become the person that you want to become. Like it is absolutely vital. You cannot just simply become that person, without going through and learning lessons. You can strive to be. You can continuously showing up at as that person, but things will come up and challenges will come up and barriers will come up, and life will test you. It will test you to say, hey, like how bad do you want this? And then it's going to throw something at you. But this is when it's throwing something at you, whatever lemons that it's throwing at you, just make lemonade out of it. Just turn that into a lesson. See what is the lesson out of it. Embrace that. Be open for it, and you're gonna see how like every single thing that you've learned is to bring you to exactly where you need to be. So essentially, if you look at right now and basically everything that you've done so far to be where you are right here, right now, that's a result of everything that you've learned in the past. So everything that you've learned, it brought you to exactly where you are here right now. So in order for you to be at that position where you want to be in the future, or the person that you want to become, you'll go through the same patterns. You'll go through the same path of learning what is it that you need to learn. So every single moment you are exactly where you need to be and learning the right lessons to bring you closer to where you want to be. So I hope this is helpful. I hope that this is understandable, but it is definitely a wake up for me. But at the same time, an exciting way of looking at things now, because now I see how much I've grown from who I was and the patterns that I've broke away, and now like creating more blocks and creating more I guess the rhino skin that we can call, that will block those old patterns from coming back, and then to stick with the right patterns to become the right, the person that you want to become. So that's my message. Hope this has been helpful. Catch you next time. Cheers.